This is a gimbal accessory that stopped doing the one thing it exists to do, and fixing it turned into a months-long investigation with two detectives on the case, me and Claude. This is the story of every wrong turn, every dead end, and the tiny clue that cracked the whole thing wide open. Back in late January, this little device here, the little box that lets my slider control my gimbal, it just died. The slider worked, the app worked, the gimbal, nothing. So I did the responsible thing. I emailed the company. They sent me a Windows Updater program to reflash it. I ran it, and the updater couldn't even connect to the little device. So I told them. They said, "No problem, we'll send you a new one." And then they vanished. No replies, months of silence. The case went cold. So I brought in a partner. I started working the problem with Claude, an AI I could hand evidence to that could read code and disassemble firmware faster than I ever could. I'd be the hands and the eyes on the bench. It'd be the one tearing apart the software. Detective team, let's go. We started with the one thing the company did give me, that updater program. Claude had me install a tool called DNSpy. It cracks open a Windows app and shows you the code inside. And buried in there, we found the good stuff. A link to a firmware repository. Every version of the firmware for every product they make. Suddenly, we weren't locked out anymore. We had the source of truth. That's when the real investigation and the red herrings began. Red herring number 1, the wrong address. I put a logic analyzer on the CAN bus, the little network between the bridge and the gimbal. Claude read the captures and spotted it. The bridge was sending its command to the wrong channel. Wrong house number on an envelope. We thought we had it figured out, and Claude tried to update the binary, but for some reason we could never get it to load properly. Wall number 1. Red herring number 2, a bad handshake. Maybe the slider and bridge weren't pairing. Digging through the firmware, Claude found a hidden, undocumented pairing mode. Pulled the button, and the bridge starts broadcasting. This isn't even mentioned in the very limited instructions. I tested it on the bench, worked perfectly, which meant it wasn't the problem. Wall number 2. Red herring number 3 nearly ended us. The bridge kept reporting its own hardware as unknown. Claude traced it to a failed reading of an identity chip over a bus called I2C, and Claude suggested we reprogram that chip. But I actually knew that board like the backside of my hand at this point. I listed every part on it for Claude, and it conceded that there is no such chip here. We'd built a whole theory around a component that doesn't exist. Wall number 3, and the biggest one. Now here's something a good investigation does that a lucky one doesn't. It double checks its own evidence. We had a nagging problem. I couldn't cleanly listen to the bridge's conversation with the gimbal, so I bought a DJI focus wheel, a known good accessory that speaks the same language, just to use as a reference tap onto that CAN bus. And that reference paid off. Claude compared the bridge's traffic against a genuine accessory traffic, frame by frame, and confirmed the bridge wasn't just using the wrong address, it was speaking the wrong dialect entirely. Not mistyped, wrong language. Every clue was now screaming the same thing. This firmware does not belong on this hardware. We just didn't know why yet. The mystery is about to heat up. So to cool things off just a bit, here is a word from our sponsor.
Every mystery in this video started with one of these, a circuit board, and the case file wouldn't be complete without a word from the people that make them, PCBWay. PCBWay is turning 12, and they're celebrating with an anniversary event that you'll want to investigate. They have exclusive coupons. You can start your savings with $5 off and go all the way up to $200 off, depending on the size of your order. And even those small orders can start for as little as just $5. And it's not just circuit boards. CNC machining, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and injection molding and vacuum casting. Follow the link in the description to their 12th anniversary page. Grab the deals before the countdown hits 0. Tell them Directed Tech sent you. Case closed.
And now, back to the case.
So Claude went nuclear on the code, disassembling the firmware instruction by instruction, tens of thousands of lines. It found a hidden gate, a single flag that had to flip on before the bridge would send even one movement command, and it was stuck off.
with no code anywhere that ever turned it on. I wired up a serial cable so we could watch the bridge boot and think out loud, and hit yet another wall. The messages we needed were gone before the USB connection even woke up. 2 detectives, a mountain of evidence, and every arrow pointing in a different direction, which almost always means you've been asking the wrong question the whole time. So I stopped. I grabbed my phone, took a photo of the board with all the wires and sent it over, just so we were both looking at the same thing. And Claude caught what I'd been staring past for months, right there in the silk screen, printed on the board. Version 2. Claude pointed it out initially, but said it was likely just an early version number. We continued to go down several more paths that were proving to be just as misleading. But a day later, kind of out of nowhere, Claude circled back to that V2. Now, mind you, Claude was the one that did the search of the GitHub repositories and just told me what to grab. But every piece of firmware we had ever flashed, every version, every failure, came from a folder marked version 3. We've been loading the version 3 software onto version 2 hardware. That's why it called its own hardware unknown. That's why it hunted for a chip that was never there. That's why the gate never opened. The bridge wasn't broken. It was wearing the wrong brain, and it had been since the very first update back in January, an update that its own app performed. I didn't break it. The company that wrote the app performed a firmware update that bricked the device. And this is the part where having a partner who can read a whole code base in a second actually wins the day. The instant we knew it was V2, Claude went straight back into that firmware repository and found it. A completely separate folder, version 2 firmware, sitting right beside the version 3 files we'd been using the entire time, built for this board. And the detail that gave me the chills, Claude checked the build date on that file, March 5th, 2024, the exact day this bridge was manufactured. This wasn't just a fix, it was almost certainly the original firmware that this thing shipped with. We weren't repairing anymore, we were sending it home. No errors. It knows its name. It knows its hardware. And then, there it is. After months of silence from the device and the company, it just works. Slider, app, gimbal. Exactly like the day it left the factory. So the lessons, number 1, when a device dies right after an update, suspect the update. In my defense, I don't always use the gimbal controls when I use the slider, so it probably stopped working well before I even realized it. Number 2, if you're ever building a theory around a part you've never actually seen, stop and go look. And 3, the big one, I had a brilliant partner that could disassemble firmware in real time, tens of thousands of lines of code in seconds, and I had the board in my hands the whole time. It took both of us, the machine to read the code and the human to provide hands-on wiring and feedback. Neither of us cracked this one alone. The company never did send that replacement or even answer, but their gimbal accessory is alive again anyway. I'd love to know if you've ever partnered with an AI agent to crack a case. Comment below if you've had success or failures. It's kind of nice to have a partner you can call on at any hour of the day for months on end as you take a cold case, heat it up, and finally move it into the solved case folder. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. I'll see you in the next one. Detective Rick.